On the 4th of September 2022, Antony made his debut after signing for Manchester United for €95 million.
Antony.
Worth £86 million.
It went off to the perfect start, but then came one obstacle that changed his life forever. This is the story of football's biggest fraud. Thank you for Bowlies for sponsoring this video, and more about them later. On the 15th of November 2018, Antony made his first senior appearance for his home club Sao Paulo, where he'd spent 8 years before that rising up the ranks. From a young age, you were able to spot his talent. He wasn't afraid to run at an opponent and had a Brazilian flair around him. He left the first team quickly to appear in the under-20s Copa Sao Paulo, where he was named the tournament's best player, picking up 4 goals and 6 assists in 9 games. He returned to a rather struggling first team, where he managed to put himself in the team sheet, ending the 2019 season with 6 goals and 6 assists in all competitions. He continued to make regular appearances for Sao Paulo up until March 2020, where the Football League was put to a halt for a couple of months. The league wouldn't start up again until his departure, meaning his last game was played for the club on the 14th of March 2020. He would join Ajax on the 1st of July after Ajax scouts saw the sheer potential he had. Or so they thought he had. He spent his first season trying to adapt to Dutch football, as it was a lot more difficult than the Brazilian league he was used to. Although he eventually found his groove, and despite fighting with David Neres for the right wing spot, he managed to come out victorious, finishing the season with 46 appearances, 10 goals and 10 assists. By now, Antony was becoming more heard of by the mainstream media, and after starting every game for Brazil at the Tokyo Olympics, people were beginning to see how special this player was. This brings us to the 21-22 season, where Antony would showcase to the world what he was made of. He kept his place in the starting lineup ahead of the likes of Neres, Darami and Burgess, and began to deliver goal after goal, assist after assist. He was unstoppable. He marked an incredible Champions League campaign, grabbing 2 goals and 4 assists in the group stages. A mix of him, Haller and Moore managed to lead Ajax to the top of the group, going unbeaten. However, they would lose to the round of 16s to Benfica. Despite this, Antony managed 8 goals and 4 assists in the Emirates field that season, helping Ajax lift the league title for the 2nd time in a row. Now, you may not think that's a lot, but first you have to understand his other strengths. Antony stood out from the competition that season due to his talent and flair. He had the confidence to run at defenders, getting past them 9 times out of 10. He enjoyed running down the line to get a crossing, but at the same time he also enjoyed cutting inside and curling it in with his left foot. You could see from the stats that he was well above the league average, with his progressive passes and progressive runs being one of the best in the league. He was on top of the world, embarrassing defenders every time he got the chance. People around the world compared him to some of the greats. He sat on a pedestal that looked like it was never falling down. But then something happened. In July of 2022, former Ajax boss Erik ten Hag became manager of Manchester United. The first thing on his list was to clear out the majority of the squad in favour of some newer, better players. Ten Hag inquired about Antony to the Man United scouts. I mean, he'd already worked with them, and he had a lot of potential, so really it was a no-brainer. At the time, Antony had been valued at around £25 million by the Man United scouts, leading to the club submitting a £30 million bid for the Brazilian winger. That's enough money, right? Little did anyone know that this was just the beginning of one of the most chaotic and ludicrous bidding wars ever seen. But before I tell you about that, let's hear from the sponsors of today's video, Bowlies. 2 months ago, I had a problem. The chair that I was using was breaking my back. It was hard, it was uncomfortable, and most annoying of all, it made this sound. Introducing the Bowlies Master Max, Where do I even start? It's got lumbar support, it's got loads of cool features, and most importantly of all, it's comfortable. Comparing it with my old chair, the Master Max can go all the way back like this, whereas this chair... Click the link in the description or go to bowleys.co.uk to find their wide range of different chairs suitable for you. Anyway, after United submitted this £30 million bid, they were turned down by Ajax. After a bit of back and forth, the bid rose to 60 million. Yet it was still turned down by Ajax. A few more bids and out of pure panic and desperation, Man United signed Antony on deadline day for a whopping €95 million, making him their third most expensive transfer of all time behind Lukaku and Paul Pogba. The expectations for him were beyond anything you could imagine. There was no chance he could fulfill them. Or maybe, just maybe, there was a chance. Just a few days after signing from Man United, Antony was in the starting 11 against Arsenal in one of the biggest games of the season. This was his chance to prove the doubters wrong and begin a legacy at Man United. And sure enough, in the 33rd minute, it happened. Antony opened the score against Arsenal in a game that they would go on to win 3-1 in what proved to be one of the best games that season. He then went on to score in his next two games, one against City and one against Everton. He couldn't be stopped. But then something happened. Since that goal, which was 714 days ago at the time of recording, how many league goals do you think he has scored? Let me know what you think. Leave your answers in the comments. The answer you were looking for is 2. Yeah. 2. So what's actually happened? How do you go from signing with one of the biggest clubs in the world for £100 million to playing just 62 seconds of league football so far this season? Well, there really isn't an easy answer here. You could say it has to do with the style of English football. I mean, if you look at his skills at Ajax, he's tried quite a lot of them on the Prem defenders. However, he feels like a past them, unlike at Ajax. I would have said he's still trying to adapt to English football, but he's been in the league for 3 seasons now, so that can't be the reason. Another reason could quite simply be pressure that he was under. I mean, £100 million signing was never going to go under the radar. Every mistake he made gave the media the chance to pounce on him, and as a result, it affected his confidence. What do you think? While you're thinking, why not watch this video here about the striker that doesn't exist?